What would happen if I would remix me? Hey, what's up? Husband here, and I've been making music for God knows how long. I've been making so many tracks, and usually when I finish a track, I just don't listen to it anymore. But I thought since I'm at the moment discovering and experimenting with new sounds, I thought maybe it's fun to try and remix a track that I've already made. And in this case, I did so with my track Desire because I went through a lot of my recent tracks and I think Desire has a cool bass foundation where we can switch it up. I went back into the project and I approached it in a way that I would usually do if I get a remix, take on all the stems and just try what I can get away with and try to see what I can come up with. So Desire went from this to this. Let's see how I achieved that. And as you can see here are all of the stems, or at least the ones that I exported: drums, kick, bass, intro, lead, synths, vocals, and effects. And the first thing that I always look for, okay, what are the elements that I can make something new with? And in this case, it was initially that main lead that I already had. Let me take off the effects. And I found recently this new plugin, which basically makes everything much more melodic. And that found is the Pitch Map VST. If you then do some clever automation and play around with the sound, I got something like this. So basically a really clever way to go with a more simple sound, make it much more melodic. And I made a new bass pattern for it because I always find when you have a melody and you combine it with a bass, then you can really get a feel for if it works. So it's actually two sounds. One is just a sub, simple one. And then one I did a sort of a Reese bass, but then I put like a chord on it. I made like a fourth on top of the note, so you get something like this. If you combine the two, and then combine that with a kick, and you already got something here. I mean, opposed from what it was initially. I think that's already a really cool, different kind of touch. And then, of course, the main part of Desire is the vocals. And I feel like, let's try this technique as well with the normal vocals. So normally they sound like... But when this little pitch map technique, and I also added some distortion and some OTT in the vocal. On its own might be sounding a little bit weird, but if you combine that with what we already have, it just gives a nice little summer touch, in my opinion. And then, of course, I layered it with a main vocal without any processing, just to give it a little bit of an extra texture. And then what I did is one of the coolest things that you can do in Ableton is that, of course, I think you can do this in most plugins, is that you can bounce an audio file. And I do this usually with I will first let you hear how it sounds. It's actually made like a remix or a rewarp of the original melody. So what I did is I took the whole melody that's a bounce. Let me do that for you guys. Let's show you how I approach this. So I have Ableton Push 2, so that's for me really easy to do. So I can just say, okay, I want this section here. So let's say we consolidate that with Command J, and then I can just simply press clip, convert to simpler. And now I got it like the whole thing like laid out, and I can set it then on, let me go to device, set it on slicing. And then I have the individual notes here. like now in my new studio, I use the push much more, so I might invest in a new top-down view of what I'm doing with the push too, but I need some more patrons first. No, just kidding. And then I made a new pattern of that, and then I put again a pitch map on, and then you got something like... And then, of course, because I don't want to go as hard with this, I took out the highs and the lows for this one, which I normally only do in the break. But combine this with the bass. It's like a whole new melodic texture going on without having to do much processing and much melodic work. Combine that with everything else, like that we already showed. It's just a really nice flow already. And what I did next, I made like a pluck, which sounds like this on its own. And it's actually a cool thing, because if I play this one on the lower octaves, it's more of a bass, a more muffled bass, because it's doing a lot of pitch automation, Saturn, OTT, a disperser, a lot of different things. But once you go up in the octaves, you don't hear the low end as much anymore, so it becomes more a pluck. One octave lower. It's really nice. So then I made like a little melody of this. And once we combine that with, for instance, like the main melody and the bass, just adds a really nice harmonic tone. And the same thing again, this technique I did with the, like one part of a fill of the track. And again, made it like a little bit of a pitch effect. And then I can make like a little melody of it. And my computer doesn't like all these pitch effects, but hey, finally I did another trick where I did the main melody, so this one. And let me just put it over here. So I just began pitching until I got like a nice counter melody. If I then combine these two, just a really nice harmonic tone, and I'm gonna try to play everything together. So that's how Desire would have sounded if a more chill person made it. By the way guys, if you want to be part of a really cool community, I do have a Discord below in the description where I share my knowledge, I share sounds back and forth with my Discord members, and we will be doing some live streams soon as well, which is a really cool way for me to interact with all of you guys. I also have a Patreon where I share monthly sounds, where I also do teaching, one-on-one sessions. That's a great platform if you want to get some fresh sounds and also learn something along the way, and in turn help me as a creative out financially, which is much appreciated. Finally, I also have a video game that I'm working on, Wrath of the Mad King. If you want to be notified whenever something important happens in the development of the game, head over to the Steam page also below and check out everything that I'm working on there. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It was for me a really cool experience to go back and just check out all the individual stems of Desire once again and just see what my creative brain can think of. It's quite a cool challenge. The challenge that I've been setting for me lately much more is take existing samples or take existing tracks and just see what you can get to making with them, what your creative mind is telling you, because a lot of the times we already start from scratch, but sometimes it's good to just, for your brain, a little exercise to just remix something. Same thing what I did with that silly monkey video this week. It was for me a cool experience. It was for you hopefully fun to watch. But that's all for me this week. I hope you're having an awesome week, and I see you all on the next video. Take care. Bye bye.